Hi everybody, this is Liz with 143 Handmade, and today's Mass Make Monday video is going to be these little over the page double pocket with hidden journaling spot dealies. And just to show you what that looks like inside of a journal. So they just fit right like that, and I like to use one of my pretty paper clips, which of course I don't have any right here where I can grab one. No, I couldn't be that prepared. Here's one. We pop that on like that, and then it just holds it on there. And it's a removable. I mean, you could tuck it, I guess you could glue it, but I like it as a removable. That's how I use it. My cats are bouncing around behind me. They have a little bit of piece of paper, so if you hear that, that's all that is. So, this is a super easy fold to accomplish this. I really like to use book page for this. Okay, not this one because it's torn. Let me get rid of those two. Alright, here we go. Here's one. And so these are ones I've just done some stenciling on. That's something I do in front of the TV is I'll just grab a signature and just sit there and stencil through it randomly. This time I only used one color, but you never know. But in order to do this, we fold it up. Just take your book page and you fold it in half, top to bottom, and then you flip it over and you fold it in half the opposite direction. There we go, like that. And then you open it up again and you take these corners and you fold them down to create your pockets. And I like to use the text to help me make sure I'm lining it up. And also, it's important to remember to not fold it all the way to the corner. It gets a little bunchy when you fold it all the way to the corner. But by leaving just that little bit, it doesn't have to be exactly even, but, by leaving that little bit, it allows it to fold nicely. And so, there we go. And that puts this, the writing on the outside right side up if you fold it exactly as I showed. But you'll play with it a little bit and you'll be able to see, how to get it right side up if that matters to you. And you could totally use not book page, but, I have way too much book page, so that's what I use. I'm grabbing my glue. Today I've got just the Eileen's tacky glue. Oh, it's been a while since I used it, but my Fabrifix is in the other room and I forgot to grab it. So I might need to pause and go get it. We'll see. We'll see if this Eileen's is going to work with me. It's a little bit chilly in here this morning. I live in Oklahoma. We had our first snow the other night. It just barely snowed. It didn't even stick, but still chilly enough to affect my glue. So yep, I'm going to have to go get my other glue. So hang on. My recording. Start again? Yes, okay. So I'm back with my Fabrifix. I'm going to go ahead and just move that out of frame. And to glue this up, just put a little bit of glue here. And you can be as careful or as messy as you want there. I just kind of tacked those down because they really don't run around a lot. And then just a little bit of glue down these short edges here. And that's it. That's all the gluing there is. You could glue down the center if you really wanted to. I find that it just adds bulk and it doesn't really help the structure at all. And so there's the basics. If my voice sounds a little funny today, if you watch my channel, you'll know that I took my daughter to the clinic on Friday. She's totally fine. Well, she has a cold, but they tested her for all the big bads, the COVID, the flu, all that stuff, strep, all that good stuff. And, all came back negative. She's just got a cold, and, wouldn't you know it, she shared. Or my son shared with her or something, I don't know. Everybody's sick. But it's just a cold, we'll be fine. And then to create this, on the inside to create the journaling spot, I use just whatever scrap paper I have on hand. Sometimes I'll use the binder paper that's, obviously lined. And sometimes I will just use regular coffee stain paper, or even just I'll grab one of these little notebooks and I'll just use this paper. You know, it really doesn't matter, just whatever, something to cover the text. And I line it up like this, just a little bit shy of the fold, and then I just figure out just to go past, just a little bit past the text, because I actually like the two-tone where I leave it where you can see that edge. And I just kind of make sure I'm straightish. And then tear a strip. And a lot of times I'll have these skinny strips already from, you know, some other project left over. And so I will just use those instead of making new like this time. But I didn't happen to have any right here. And so that's what we're doing. Just like to flip it around until I get it, like, you know, where it's on one of these lines. I like using the lines on the binder paper to help line it up. And then we just glue those down. And we've got our little secret journaling spot, you know, where when you first flip through the journal, you're not going to just obviously see that. So it gives you that little bit of privacy, so you can share certain parts of your journal but not have to share every aspect of it. And you can be as thorough as you want here, getting the glue all the way to the edges, and or just like I did, just kind of tacking it down. It's a personal preference, and honestly I do it differently at different times. Sometimes I'm very, very careful to spread the glue all out, and then other times I do it like this just because I'm just trying to be quick. And then there you go. And as you can see, we've got a pocket here, and a pocket here, and then our hidden journaling spots. So we'll run through that whole process again. It's not difficult, but there are a fair number of steps. So I need to start trying to do like Jody on Jody Fi's channel, or Fi. I'm not sure if it's Fi or Fi, but where she does her process steps, you know, that you can find elsewhere. I need to start trying to do something like that. But so you fold it up. Start with the paper upside down to you, so that way when you fold it up, it makes this part right side up. That's how you get it to where the outside is right side up to you every time. Is starting with the paper upside down. And then we fold it in half, and then unfold, and fold down our corners. So yeah, my youngest son is staying with my oldest son for the weekend, and I don't know why I just said that randomly. Well, because I was thinking about having to do dishes as soon as I was done with this, and the dishes are usually his job. But, you know, because he's not here, you know, Mama's got to do. But, so, yep, and so I'll just glue the triangles like that, and I'll glue right along this line, and this line, and then pop those closed, fold it over, and I like to just close it right away, so that way, you know, because the paper moves a little bit as you fold it, you know, so I like to fold it all the way back up right away to make that glue stick in the correct spot for it being folded. And then we can take this piece that we had before. Yep, that's the right width. Of course it is, that's the same book. But, you know, you can make these out of any book page, or actually really any rectangle. Squares don't really work that well. Well, in my, you know, I don't think so. I don't like the way that the squares look. I did make one in a square, but I didn't care for it. And so I will show that in just a minute. I'll show you some of the examples that I did when I was playing around trying to figure it out. This is one of those things that I created just playing in front of the TV. Just letting my hands play with the paper, fold it, you know. Sometimes, you know, you come up with some really cool stuff that way, and then, but a lot of times, honestly, I just end up with a pile of weirdly folded paper that I just throw in the recycle bin, you know. or the compost bin actually. I call it the recycle bin, but I don't have recycling out here. I live way out in the country. I barely have garbage service, and they're not consistent or good, my garbage service, but so definitely don't have recycling service. And so what I do with all my extra paper is I compost it, because I have clay soil. I don't really have soil, I don't have dirt, I have clay. So anywhere I want to grow something, I have to do a lot of amendments, and paper does a really good job at that. So I got a little bit of glue sponge that I'm going to just rub on off of there. It's one of the things I love about the Fabrifix. And if this little bit of upside down writing bothers you, before you seal it up, you can totally cover that up. Or I mean, you can still cover it up now, but it doesn't really bother me, because once you use them, you know, once you put stuff in them, you don't see that anyways. So, you know, and here I've got an altered playing card in this one. It's a little too wide for this one, but you see the point. You know, you get the point. It covers that up. So here, I'll show you a bunch of the ones that I made while I was just playing and getting it figured out. You know, it works great with hymnal pages as well. You want to make sure that the paper's, you know, heavy enough, because that center seam, it's doubled up on itself, but it's not adhered to itself. So it's and you know, and you're going to be opening and closing it, so you want the paper to have some body left to it, you know, you don't want to use some real fragile paper, is what I'm trying to spit out here. You know, and you don't have to cover up the inside and make it a journaling spot if you don't want to. This one I thought looked kind of cool without it, because then you could read the whole poem, you know, by flipping it over. There's another one. See, here's the square. Here's the one I made out of a square. And I didn't even end up gluing it, but yeah, this is just a square, like 8 by 8, I think. Possibly a 6 by 6 or something like that. But, you know, you do the same steps, you know, fold it the same way. But it does look different, you know, and the pocket's not as much of a pocket. You know, it's not as deep. It's just kind of a tuck spot, which, I mean, it's not bad. I prefer the book page as opposed to that. And then this is one I made using a full, you know, 2-page book page layout, but that's really big, and I really don't have much use for something this big. It's not really going to fit in most of my journals. But, you know, I was playing around trying to figure out what worked and what didn't, and this is the design that I landed on that I really liked, and so that's what I shared with you today. You know, normally in these Mass Make Monday videos, I do a lot more of them, but as I said, I have a cold, and, you know, just getting over it, and so we're just going to leave it at that today. Let me see if I can grab, yeah, I have my little bucket here of doodads that I keep away from my cats. Nope, that's just a bunch of bows. I thought I had some of my paper clips in there, but no. I made a bunch of bows the other day while I was not feeling good with a fork. Look how cute some of those turned out. Itty bitty bows. Let's see. Just trying to find my paper clips so I can put it in there. Let's grab a couple of regular paper clips. Here we go. Alright, so here's, this is my Mass Make Monday journal. And this one's the one that will be going up for sale once it's finished, once it's, you know, fully filled in. Whatever that means, you know. When I'm satisfied with it. Let's see. I think this is a good page. Yeah, we'll stick her on there. It's one of these fancy paper clips. So, oh, I didn't grab tags for her. Let's see, there's a tag. Oh, that's not how you use that paper clip, I guess. I don't know how to use these fancy, this particular one apparently. So we will grab, because this one's too big and the wrong color. There we go. Here's some paper clips. So, yep, just tuck in a piece of paper on that side and a journaling card on this side. And pop it on with the paper clip. And look at how cute that page now that may have been kind of difficult to figure out what to do with now has a purpose. It's holding that, you know, journaling card, and we still get to see this pretty picture. Actually, you know what? I think I'd like it better on this page, because this page already has, you know, the baggie here and some pretty pictures and stuff. Yeah, that's better. I like that better. So there we go. I'll probably go back and do something, you know, cuter with that tag, but here, that's how that would go into a journal. So thank you so much for joining me, and all the well wishes for my daughter and everything from last week's video. I greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to stick to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday video releases, but you know, with the holidays and not feeling good, I don't know how good I'm going to be at that. I'm going to give it my best shot though. So, and don't forget to enter the 100 subscriber giveaway. I'm going to try and do the whole info link thing, you know, where it's linked in the box above. I haven't done that yet, so we're going to give that a shot. But I will link the video below as well. So, so you guys can go over there, watch that video, and enter that contest if you want to. Thank you so much for all of your time. I love hanging out with you guys. Thank you. And I'm going blank. I know there's more I wanted to say, but you know how it is when you're not feeling good. So, we'll see you again soon.